everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Laura. For today's recipe, what I'm going to share with you is how I make apple hand pies. This is just like making a big old apple pie but in individual portions. It's almost the same process step for step, but at the end you have this real nice piece of pie, a hand pie that you can have all to yourself. If you enjoy our content, don't forget to give us a thumbs up. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Laura, where I post baking and cooking videos at least twice a week. If you're a regular here, thank you for stopping by again. I appreciate you. If you have any questions about the recipe, guys, leave it in the comments below and I will be sure to get back with you. The recipe and all the items that I use will also be listed down in the description box below. Always take a look there first. Now don't forget to go follow us on Facebook and Instagram, and don't forget, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, hit that notification bell so you can be notified every time I upload a new video. Okay, let's get started. The first thing that we are going to do for the crust is we are going to beat the egg and we are going to add the sour cream. And then we're just going to give this a good mix. Okay, that's ready. Now in our food processor, I am going to start with the flour, the salt, and the sugar, and we're going to pulse this until it's very well combined. Okay, about 5 pulses. Now we are going to add our butter that has been chilled. I keep it in the freezer for about a half an hour after I cut it, and that's just so that we can get some real flaky pie crust. You get little chunks of butter in there. And I mix this up just a little bit. We are going to add half of the sour cream and egg mixture now. We're going to pulse it about 10 times. Now we're going to add the remaining cream. Okay, we're going to pulse it again about 10 times. Okay, that should be good right there. Okay, I'm going to show you. Some areas may be a little bit wetter than others, but that's okay. It'll all come together. See how it starts to push itself together here? And that's what you want. Don't go over that. Okay, I'm going to drop this onto the cutting board. Okay, take our blade out. Be careful not to cut yourself. And everything out of the bowl. Okay, and then we're going to knead this just a little bit, just to where it comes together. You don't want to overwork this dough because you don't want it to become dense. You want it to still be flaky. Okay. See how in some areas it falls apart, it crumbles, and some areas like here is damp. Okay, that should be good right there. Okay, now we get our bench scraper here and we divide this in half just to make it easier for us to wrap it in some saran wrap. Shape it into a little ball. Okay, then we take our piece of saran wrap and we flatten it down with our hands. Try to make it into a disc and then just cover it up. And we're going to pop this into the refrigerator until it firms up, about a half an hour to an hour. Okay, we'll be right back. Okay guys, we are going to start with the apples. You pick whatever baking apple you like. You can use a Granny Smith. I will leave a list in the link below of what kind of apples you can use for baking. But we are going to core and peel the apples. These have already been washed thoroughly. Okay, so now with the apples, as you can see here, we have a little bit that's bruised. I'm just going to take that off, no big deal. I'm going to cut the apples in half. Oops, want to get away from me. And then cut them about 1/4 inch. Okay, now I'm going to take my I have this little French fry cutter that I like to use. I put the apples in here. And then I just run them through and you get the perfect little dice. I'm going to bring you in for a close-up, see? And that's exactly the size that we want. Okay, so I'm going to just continue to do this. Okay, I'm going to transfer these little apple bits into this bowl, and I'm going to pop y'all over to the stove, or we're going to semi-cook these apples down. In a medium to large size skillet, we are going to add the butter. I already had this on, so it's probably hot. Okay, we are going to add our sugars. And this is on a medium to high heat. Just get everything mixed up in there. And then we're going to add our spices. The cinnamon, the salt. Okay, now that everything is incorporated, I'm going to add in our apples. Okay, we're going to add in our lemon juice. And we're going to let this cook down for about 5 minutes or so before we add in our thickening agent, which I am going to use flour. But you can use cornstarch if you prefer. See how it starts getting the liquid, some liquid from the apples? Okay, so I'll be back as soon as this cooks down just a little bit. This has been cooking down for about 4 minutes or so. And as you can see how much liquid is in there, okay? Sometimes the apples release a lot of liquid. And this apple is a baking apple, so it tends to cook a lot faster than the Granny Smith apples. So we're not going to let it cook as long. Now we're going to sprinkle in our flour, which is going to thicken up the juices. Like I said, you can use cornstarch if you prefer. Okay, and then we're just going to let this cook down for about another 5 minutes so that it thickens up nicely. See how quick it thickens up? It smells delicious. The cinnamon and the nutmeg smells delicious. Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes. Okay, I brought you in really close so you can see how nice and thick this got, okay? And I do taste it at this point, and I want you to taste it. Check for sweetness and cinnamon and nutmeg. If it's the flavor that you like, if you want to add a little bit more sugar, a little bit more cinnamon, that is up to you. It's okay to do that at this point. Remember, this is the filling of your little hand pies. So you want to make them how you like them. And this is how you can adjust it right now. Okay, this is ready. I am going to turn this off. I'm going to let this cool completely to room temperature. I might even wait a while and put it in the refrigerator to cool completely before we roll out our dough. See how nice and thick that is? That's exactly what you want, just like that. I will be back on the counter in just a few. Okay, everybody, I have the pie dough out of the refrigerator. I kind of started before I hit the record button. I have some flour. I have 2 little pieces of plastic. I got some of the dough and rolled it up into a little ball and rolled it in some flour. And I'm going to put it in my tortilla press. You can also use a roller if you don't have a tortilla press. That's not a big deal. Just turn it a little bit. Give it a small, peel off the first plastic. So there is our pie crust right there. So this is like a size, here's my hand, smaller than my hand. It's like the size of a small corn tortilla. I'm going to shake off the excess flour. And I have my apple filling here. And we're going to try not to overfill these. So we're going to put about 2 teaspoons, maybe a little bit more. Still with the plastic on it, and you fold it over and pinch it with the plastic on there. And then you just take the paper off, the plastic. And there's our first pie. And then we're going to pinch it with a fork so that nothing comes out. There it is. Now I have my cookie tray with the parchment paper, and I'm going to start laying them out right there like this. And we are going to make a little hole here so that the steam has somewhere to escape to, but not yet. We're going to keep going. I'm going to make a few more of these. Here's the finished product. I just try to give them some space. I preheated the oven. I'm preheating the oven to 375. We're going to give these guys an egg wash. Okay, now we're going to get the egg wash ready. Just 1 egg. And we're going to beat this real good. Okay, and we're going to brush them. When you brush them, you really want to get in there with the egg wash so that they can get some nice color. now we're going to give them some vent holes so that the steam has somewhere to go and they don't explode. All right, there we go. I'm going to pop them in the oven. I'm going to leave them for approximately 30 to 35 minutes. I'm going to be checking in between time to make sure that they're not over browning. Okay, they should be a nice golden brown color, and that's it. Remember, the apple's already cooked, so we just want the crust to bake out. Okay, I will be back when these are ready. Okay, everybody, the pies are out. I let them cool. Everything is good. I can handle them now. Look at how pretty these are. And I'm going to handle them because these are staying here with us. Look at how nice that is. And you can, well, you can't feel it, but the crust is very, very crispy. It's going to be a good pie. Look at that. I'm going to cut one open. Some of these do break. As a matter of fact, that's the one that I'm going to open. When they are baking, they do tend to crack like this. I'm going to break it so you can see. Look at that. Yummy. Okay, let me go ahead and take a bite out of this so I can tell you what it tastes like. Okay, here we go. Look at all that apple. Very, very good, guys. You can taste the apple. It's not mushy. It's not completely mushy. You can taste the cinnamon, just a little hint of nutmeg, and the crust is so crispy. And it's not too sweet. It's actually very, very good, guys. I had been playing around with the recipe for a little bit because I wasn't sure about the crust yet. The apple is just perfectly cooked, but the bottom of the crust is nice and crispy, as you can see, and it is delicious. See that? It's a very, very good pie, guys. I hope y'all give it a try. Okay, guys, that's going to conclude the video for today. Don't forget, give us a thumbs up. That sure helps me out here a lot on the channel. And tell your friends and family about us so we can try and keep this channel growing. We're doing real good, guys, and I appreciate all your help. Okay, I'll see y'all later. Bye.